Welcome to another session from LearnReason.com. My name is Matt. This video is sponsored by HDRefills.com. Hear and feel the difference. Go check them out. You'll be glad you did. This is part 22 in our Learn How to Mix video series. And we're getting pretty close to finishing mixing. I have to make some final adjustments and maybe a couple automation, put some automation in for a couple of the faders here. And we're going to finish that up. But one thing I want to go over here is mono, mixing in mono. And in part 19, I showed you how to make a mono channel right in Reason. And it does work. It does create a mono channel. The only problem with it is if you want to solo one of these channels, you have to solo the mono channel too. So I'm going to show you a workaround, because there was a lot of people who, kind of didn't like that. So this is an easy workaround, and it will serve another purpose, and that's to help us when we get into mastering, be able to work on the mid and the side signals in the stereo field. And we're going to need something to be able to do that. So let me show you this plug-in rack extension here in the shop. This is a stereo splitter that is actually very good, and it only costs $9. And what it does is it helps you, split up the signal with a mid and a side, and it has a utility, to inverse the left, the right, and the side width, and the volumes for both the mid and the side, and swap left and right. And also it has a mono button, which is really cool. So I purchased this. So let's go back into Reason here, okay? And here it is in the it's going to be in effects. I don't know why it's not in utilities, but it is an effect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it right up here into the master section. And what it should do is automatically just hook it in to one of the sends. And you'll see it hooked into the sends. And that's all we have to do to get this in so we can use it as a mono switch, which then allows us, we don't have to solo all the tracks like if you would making the mono channel right in Reason. But, even if you just want to stick with the mono channel in Reason and save yourself $9, you're going to need something like this when we start mastering, because we're going to want to be able to listen to and control an effect. Compress, EQ, whatever. We want to have access to the mid and the side channels when we do our mastering. And we can use this in the mix too, but for this tutorial series, I'm just going to keep it fundamentals, just keep it real easy. And we're going to use the mid and the sides, channels when we're mastering. But what we're going to do here is once this is in, I'm just going to go to button 4 because it's the closest one in the mixer. And I'm going to click on this, and I'm just going to select the mono switch. I want this button here to do the mono switch. And so what I'll do here, I'll just put this, I'm just going to put mono in there. So now if we go back into the mixer, now all we have to do is click this, and we can hear our mix in mono. And you'll see here, we can see here that button 4 turns the mono switch on and off, which is cool. So now that we've done that, let's just take a moment here I want you to listen to this mix in mono for a moment. And, one of the things that's very important about mono mixing is, to use it And when you're listening in mono, what mono is going to do is it's going to help you hear any phase issues. It will help you. It will help you check the low end. Like, we've been doing this mix as we've been mixing the song. We've been going through and taking out all the lows everywhere we can, and just reserving the lows just for the very few instruments that need that low frequency area. And if you aren't doing that, when you're in a mono mix, it's just going to reveal itself, because in the mono mix it's going to sound boomy and muddy. And generally, if your mix sounds good in mono, it's going to sound great in stereo. That's just the way it goes, and it will help you hear, panning issues. Like if you have too many things on one side or too many, on either side, it's going to help you hear that. So let's listen to this. Let's listen to parts of the song here in mono, and then not in mono. So we'll start not in mono. I want you to, when you're listening in mono, I want you to listen to the bass and see if it's still crisp, if it's if the other elements they're more defined in the mono mix. This will let us know if what we've done so far is actually correct, if you will. The mono listening in mono really reveals what you've done.
Comes a lover's lane when I'm with you. I can see the sun, though we're out in the rain when I'm with you. Darling, don't you know that whenever you're gone, days are long. The world is all around in this busy life when I'm with you. I can see the sun, though we're out in the rain when I'm with you.
So if you're listening, the mono, when we put it into mono, we don't lose definition. We're not losing. We're all of a sudden we're not hearing a bunch of muddiness. And what this proves is that the fundamentals that I'm showing you, getting your static mix right from the beginning, and going through and taking the lows out of everything that doesn't need the lows, and looking at each element and designating a certain frequency range for it in the mix, and sculpting it out with the EQ, and using compression to control the volumes and level stuff out, and maybe even give it a little color. All these little things that we've been doing, layering and layering and layering, is revealed in the mono mix. And what I'm going to do now is we're going to listen to the original mix, the mix I got when this song was given to me, and we're going to put it into mono and see if you can hear a big difference. Okay, this is the original mix, and I soloed it, and now we'll let you listen to it a little without the mono, and then a little with the mono. and you can hear it. Everything's not as defined, and you can hear once you go mono how the bass, the low frequencies are kind of gone. They're not there as they're not as relevant, as clear, defined. So check it out.
Every street I walk on becomes a lover's lane when I'm with you. I can see the sun, though we're out in the rain when I'm with you. Darling, don't you know that when
Okay, so there you have you can hear the difference. You know what happens when you go through a mix and you really hone it out and start with a good static mix and everything. So what we're going to do in the next session is we're going to finish up with some last things we need to do to this mix, and we'll listen in mono and probably make a couple adjustments to our panning and stuff, and just do a last check in mono in the mix, and then after that we're gonna start moving into mastering. So we've come a long way. We just have some last minute things to check, do, and meanwhile, why don't you just go and get that splitter rack extension? It's out of all the ones they have there in the shop, I think it's the best one, and you can't beat it for $9, and it's going to be an integral, amazing tool in mixing and mastering, and I'm going to show you. So you guys take care, and please subscribe, share, follow, and that's how you can help me out. Take care.
you're gone, days are long.